Every single football creator is making this video right now, and they are saying they will have the best Premier League predictions, but they are lying, because this will be the one and only stop for the best Premier League prediction video of all time. Hull are number 20. They finished 16th on expected goals last season in the Championship and somehow made it into the Premier League. And now they have to face Premier League defenses. Is that attack gonna do anything? I don't think so. And the signings that they've made are so uninspiring, with players who have zero top-level experience. And that Australian geezer, fucking Lucas Errington, he might have done okay in the World Cup, but MLS doesn't compare to the Premier League, and I think he's going to be better in the Championship next season. Number 19, though, is a shocker, is a surprise to everybody out here, because they have lost their manager. And they aren't going to be the same as Brentford did last season, because Fulham is number 19. Marco Silva out the door, and Fulham just don't have the system in place, the management in place up top, to create a data-driven project just like Brentford, where even if they replace their best players, even if they replace their best managers, they will still do good. Fulham aren't like that. And the manager that they brought in, who failed at Real Madrid, will fail at Fulham. And so will his Real Madrid boys, including Gonzalo Garcia. The last relegation spot, is it going to be another Championship club that just came up? Yes, it is. Spoilers, it is just going to be Ipswich. But I think people are underrating Gary O'Neill, and it is going to be close. McKenna was a very, very good manager, and unfortunately, he had to leave due to personal reasons. And he was probably the manager that could have kept them up, could have pipped them to 17th place. But because he left, 18th is where they will finish. But they will have some surprise results, because Gary O'Neill... everyone was shocked when Iraola replaced him at Bournemouth. He did a good job at Wolves as well at the start, even though at the end he was trash. I think he's going to do a decent job, but he's going to get some big wins. Also, I was just looking at their transfers. Tell me if any of these players inspire you. Kipre, Akpom, Maeda, maybe actually a bit from Celtic. He's a decent player. Issa Diop, Sherpen, Florentino, and not Perez. Fatawu from Leicester. Emerson with 2 N's. Who the bloody hell are these guys? The team that's gonna pip them to 17th spot, though, is another surprise. It's Sunderland, who are gonna have a very, very similar season to what Forest did last season. European football will kill them. As we all know, they somehow finished 7th in the Premier League, even though they deserved to finish 18th according to expected goals. And this season, with not that many signings, signing Thomas Meunier, and the only reason they signed him is because they saw an old tweet from him that he was asking for a link to watch a Sunderland game. They are going to fail miserably in the Premier League and in Europe. 17th, 16th. And this is the last Championship team that I have. Lampard will finally succeed in the Premier League. He won't flop. He won't get sacked. He won't get relegated. He has learned from all the mistakes that he made in the past and will use them to have a good season with Coventry. And you gotta respect the team that was literally a millimeter away from knocking out Manchester United after being 3-0 down in a FA Cup semi-final. God damn, that was an interesting game. Now let's move on to the signing, the Mula cash money signing of the summer. Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Elliot Anderson? Is it gonna be the return of Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester United? No, it's gonna be another Man United signing, Tielemans. Yuri Tielemans for £35 million Roonies. He changes the dynamic of Manchester United drastically. The way Manchester United played last season isn't going to be the same way they play this season because of Tielemans. He's a player in the peak of his game who, except for last season, has averaged 42 plus games a season. Aston Villa's best player, they finished in the top 5. He eases the pressure off of Bruno to create chances. He eases the pressure off of Bruno to drop deeper to help the team from back to front. And he allows our best player, Bruno Fernandes, to operate in his most natural, most important position as an attacking midfielder. Now let's get down to 15. It's another Geordie club. It's Newcastle. Up the tune. I see something that they will go down, but they are just wrong. Because the average quality of a Newcastle player is way higher than the average quality of all the teams that I've listed below them. And obviously, we all know they have lost their biggest players. Bruno, Giordano, Tony Lagno. And they will lose Lewis Hall to Manchester United. But they have splashed some cash. Even though it has been on upcoming youthful talent, they still have splashed. And even though it's not proven talent, this talent will allow them to survive in the Premier League and finish 15th. And thank God Eddie Howe is gone, because last season, I think he was at fault for that. And now they've got Red Bull prodigy at the helm. 14th is Crystal Palace. Pierre Sage, their new manager, is an absolute cooker. He came second with Lens in Ligue 1 last season, deservedly, because on expected data, they were supposed to finish second, just behind PSG, the two-time Champions League winners. And they won the Coupe de France. It's crazy that the Premier League has got to this level where players like Yasha, Bundesliga winner, is joining teams like Sunderland, where managers that finish second in the other big leagues join struggling teams in the Premier League, just like Pierre Sage. But that is what the game is at this time. Money rules the world. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. And thankfully, Crystal Palace have got rid of Brennan Johnson and instead got Dwight McNeil, who has something to prove to all the Premier League fans, because I think there's a player in there. Also, what is this weird-ass connection that Crystal Palace have with Japan? I swear they've had Japanese sponsors. They have Tomiyasu that has joined the club. Come out already at the club. Please tell me if anyone knows. Number 13, Everton. Why is everybody so down on Moise? I actually don't understand. He's a great manager. Should replace Sir Alex Ferguson at Man United, eh? Apart from Johnson that they signed from Crystal Palace, I think they've made some very, very shrewd signings. Norgard from Arsenal for the experience. Tyrick George on a permanent from Chelsea, who has been excellent in preseason and has scored a couple of very, very important goals for Chelsea. And the best player that they have signed is Hayden Hackney, who will be one of the best signings this season. The best player in the championship by far last season. And I think Man United should have targeted him. I can't lie. He has that relationship with Carrick. We hope that Grealish re-signs, and it looks like their best player, Njai, is staying at the club, which will put them 13. Number 12 is a team people are actually very high on right now. I'm not too high on them, but I am high. They have been great in preseason, and just like Lampard, Daniel Farke is very, very on fire. He wants to show the world that he's not a failure of a manager in the Premier League and that he can compete at the highest level. And even though they've overpaid on signings, they bought some bloody good players, eh? Trafford in net for £46 million. And Muharemovic. What a player from Sassuolo. And you thought that was it? No, because they signed Harry Wilson on a free transfer. How is no one else competing for Harry Wilson in the Premier League? This guy was top 10 players in the Premier League last season. From 12th, we're on to 11th. And it's going to be the Greek Mafia's Nottingham Forest. The Glazer factor. The Glazer factor is going to pop them up the table. They don't have Europe. And they might have lost Elliot Anderson, but they have kept Gibbs White. Even though he probably doesn't want to be there, even though it's probably at gunpoint, he is still there. And a very, very underrated midfielder who was next to Elliot Anderson, Sangare, is still there. Schlager the Shagger, decent signing. I like him, not just because of the name. And young talent has arrived from Portugal in Diamonde, which will put them somewhere in the mid-table, you know? It's not bad. It's not bad. They were nearly relegated last season. Forest fans, don't look at me like that. Flop player time. I've already mentioned him. He's a good player, but it won't work out in the Premier League due to style. It is Gonzalo Garcia at Fulham. From flop player, let's get on to the top scorer. Easy peasy, Erling Haaland. No, because he's going to get injured. Huge injury, middle of the season, start of the season. We don't know when, but it's going to happen. According to NASA, they have told me. And Brian Mbeumo, 23 goals on the counter-attacks. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Now let's head into the top half of the table. And this team might have lost their manager, who was at the forefront of their revolution in recent years. But I don't think there'll be that big of a decline, because this team's structure and management has been getting to the levels of a Brighton, of a Brentford in recent years, where they rely less on the actual manager that they have, but more on the system built by the ownership and the people above the manager, as well as their excellent scouting department. And do I think that Marco Rose is a great manager? No. But I do think that Bournemouth have a very, very good squad and have also made some very, very good signings. And if you told me 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago that Bournemouth would have the starting Brazilian right winger playing for them, I would have never believed you. And we're back to back on the Bs because at number 9, I've got Brentford. This will be a year for stability at Brentford. A stable season to secure themselves and then push forward next season. And I love the signing that they made from Lens in Sangare, a player that they signed for 50 million, which I think Man United should have went for 100%, and a player that they will probably sell for 150 million next season. And you thought we're finished on the Bs? No, because we're back to back to back. In 8th place, we've got Brighton. Hertzler has somehow been a better Premier League manager at Brighton than both Potter and De Zerbi. And the Brighton that we have known in recent years has changed because they've started to splash their dough. Making Europe, finishing high up the table has generated a lot of profits for them. And that money needs to go through to new players. They might have lost Van Hecke, but they've signed a great youngster in Vuskovic for cheaper. And the signing of Pascal Struijk from Leeds. Bloody good player. And imagine, guys, just imagine the player that we were all talking about 3 years ago, Evan Ferguson, who scored a hat-trick against Newcastle, finally reaches his potential. Guys, we were talking about this guy as if he was the second coming of Alan Shearer. Imagine if he comes back and just does it. Would be cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I want an 11-inch penis. It's not going to happen.
But let's get to 7th place. Sorry to all people from Birmingham. I've gone for Aston Villa. In my opinion, they have lost too many important players to finish above 7th. And now that they've got UCL football, their most important players will be playing every single minute in a very, very tiring campaign. And the replacements that they've made for the players that they've lost in João Gomez, Manzambi, I think they will need 1 year to acclimatize to the system, to the top level of football, and push on next season. Which is why they do miss out on the top 6. And getting into the top 6, this is where I put Spurs. They will spur up the table from 17th with a great manager and great investment. They might have overplayed for the players that they have bought, but at least they bought the players. Tonali, Mateus Fernandes, Van Hecke, Robertson, Senesi are all perfect signings. And if I was to rate who has the best transfer window so far, I would give it to Spurs. And if they go on a roll, they could finish in the top 4. Like, I don't doubt that they could do it. De Zerbi's a good manager. Now, this is something traditional, a specific random prediction for the 26-27 Premier League season. In the first half of the season, Liverpool will be 10th in the Premier League. That is not it. In the second half of the season, they'll be 1st, which will put them into my number 5th place, Liverpool. I think the players that they have and the squad that they have is very, very good. But are they ready for the Iraola system after playing in a passive, controlling slot system? I don't think so. And that's what Iraola thinks as well after saying his players can only play in his system for 30 minutes. And also, the signings that they've made so far do not encourage me. Munoz, I don't think is that good. And thankfully, just like my specific prediction said, the second half of the season will save them. Another team where there'll be a big change of system and management is Chelsea, who I put into 4th place. Can Chelsea win the league? I'd say they have a chance. Can Chelsea finish 10th? I'd say they have a chance. New manager. They don't have European football. Another fresh update onto their squad. Spending 400 million already. But they've also lost really important players in Santos and one of the best left backs in the world, Cucurella. But yet again, they have splashed cash and they have got proven players in the Premier League, Rogers and Lacroix. And they finally got some experience, but maybe they are too old and maybe they are just too experienced. Like, experience. And then there's what they signed. Welbeck is 35 years old. Henderson is 36. Will these players be playing that much? Will their fitness be good enough? I don't know. But what I do know is that Henderson cannot climb over a 1 meter advertising board without breaking his hand. Moving on from a club that signed Welbeck to a club that should have signed Welbeck, Manchester United. You are in 3rd place. This will be a season to confirm another Champions League place and to stabilize the club after so much instability under Amorim and Ten Hag. And the signings that we've made so far, even though it should be more, have been good. Santos is getting way too much criticism from the likes of Mark Goldbridge. He has been a very, very good player in preseason, a player that Chelsea fans did not want to lose. And for a 50 million price tag when Mateus Fernandes and Tonali are going for 85 million and 100 million is a very, very good signing. And as I've mentioned already, Tielemans is here for 35 million, a guy that will change Manchester United. And in preseason, we have looked quite good, I'd say, in a reworked Michael Carrick system, which will be different to what we did last season. There'll be more technical play, there'll be more control, more triangles, but we will maintain that quick, fast, free-flowing, attacking football. Triangle, triangle. Tielemans gets the ball out. Triangle, triangle. Bruno gets the ball out. We got Mbeumo, Sesko, Ahmad, Shea Lacey, Rashford, Dorgu, Cunha, all running in behind. That attacking talent is actually underrated. But we need more signings. We need to pay what Newcastle want for Lewis Hall. 70 million, go get him. And with Mount's uncertain injury record, we need another midfielder. And if we get those two signings, I think Manchester United genuinely have a chance at winning the Premier League title. And even without that, my best player for the 26-27 Premier League season will still be Bruno Fernandes. Now please, tell me, what do Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Michael Carrick have in common? Is it because that they both played under Sir Alex Ferguson? Yeah, okay, maybe. Is it because they're both crucial in Manchester United winning a Champions League? Yeah, I guess. But for me, the answer is that both of those know how to get the best out of the best creator in the 21st century in the Premier League, Bruno Fernandes. And he'll just continue being as good as he was last season. And this brings us to who will win the Premier League title. Will Arsenal go back-to-back? Or will Man City take revenge under Maresca? Both sides have made and still will make exceptional transfers in this window. But for me, Bruno Guimaraes has pipped Arsenal for the Premier League title. Number 2, I've got Man City. They are going to play a very similar system to Pep under Maresca, but with more focus on their wingers, which is why Doku, signing a new contract, will have to maintain or improve on his form that he had at the end of last season. But change is what will stop Man City for the title. They have revamped their midfield with Ballon d'Or winner Rodri leaving the club, Elliot Anderson and most likely Buadi joining, and obviously Pep has gone. The best manager in modern day football has left, and they've got Maresca. That is a big change, which is why Arsenal will win the Premier League, and they will play, in my opinion, way better than they did last season, because Arteta must have looked at what they were doing last season with all the set-piece tactics, with all the physicality, with all this squeaky bum time, where they could have easily bottled the title. They squeaked past Burnley. They got so many refereeing decisions go their way, and Arteta has to look at it and say, we need to do better, we need to be better. And I think he's going to combine the defensive stability of last season to what they were doing a couple seasons ago when they were the best attacking team in the league. Which is why they probably still need to sign a very good forward. That would have been Vinicius Jr., but that didn't happen. So let's see if there's another surprise signing in the attacking line for Arsenal, because Gyökeres ain't it.